Thank you for downloading this in-ear entertainment podcast. You're listening to Shakespeare's Sonnets. Sonnet 27. Weary with toil, I haste me to my bed. The dear repose for limbs with travel tired, but then begins the journey in my head, to work my mind when body's work has expired. For then my thoughts, from far where I abide, intend a zealous pilgrimage to thee, and keep my drooping eyelids open wide, looking on darkness which the blind do see. Save that my soul's imaginary sight presents thy shadow to my sightless view, which, like a jewel hung in ghastly night, makes black night beauteous, and her old face new. Lo, thus, by day my limbs, by night my mind, for thee and for myself no quiet find. That was Sonnet 27 with me messing up a couple of times. That's, I think, going to have to be my standard intro. This is Shakespeare Sonnets. I'm Mark Chatterley, and we're going through all the sonnets, and I'm joined by the lovely and happy and jolly and slightly tired because he was up last night,
Thierry Heles.
There we go. And I thought this was quite an appropriate sonnet for you.
Yeah. We were talking about insomnia earlier because I can't sleep at night, and yeah, this is very fitting.
Is that because your soul's imaginary sight presents thy shadow, or your lover's shadow, to your sightless view?
I don't have a love to think of at the moment now.
Oh, we need to get your young boy to think of when you're in bed.
Oh dear. No, not...
It's approved by Shakespeare. It must be fine.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Well, I guess a boy would keep me up at night, but...
It was more sort of, why am I thinking about this? No! We'll find you. We'll find you some lover. Not necessarily a boy. Probably a woman more your age, so that will keep you up at night. Through her shadow, not anything else.
Just the shadow lurking in the back.
Yes, the jewel hung in ghastly nights is what we need. Yes.
Which is a lovely line at first sight, and then you start thinking about it and you go, it's a bit weird. The lovely jewel in ghastly night.
Yeah.
Just bit, I don't know, it's a bit creepy almost.
It's an odd metaphor, I guess, or no, it would be a simile, I guess. But because in night, he's basically saying he can't see, and then he's saying he can see a jewel hung, so like the jewel has some sort of radiance to it, I guess. Is that one? I
guess that would make sense. I mean, I know what he's trying to say, but just the line is looking weirder and weirder the more I look at it.
What do you think he's trying to say? Because I'm not sure I know what he's trying to say.
I would just go for the jewel being whoever the person is that he's thinking about.
Okay.
And just basically the ghastly night because he can't sleep.
Okay. And I guess hung. The issue with that is the word hung. Then, if you're,
I guess he could be going on about the crown jewels.
Maybe. I suppose that would be more
that hung in.
But there is a lot of nice imagery in this one. Makes black night beauteous with her old face new. Which is her old face new is an odd bit, but makes black.
That's basically, yeah. You're ugly in the day, but when it's quite dim light, yeah.
Yeah, you're passable. Or does it link to that whole he loves the boy but it wants a girl and at night it makes her, because it's her old face new.
Yeah, that's true. He does say her.
Which is interesting. So maybe I've missed something from this poem. I need to reread it. It's clues like this, listeners, that makes me feel like I've missed something in the poem when it's not talking about a boy anymore. It's now talking about a her. But I can't see what I've missed.
I don't.
No. Looks on darkness which the blind do see, save that my soul's imaginary sight presents thy shadow to my sightless view, which, like a jewel hung in ghastly night, makes black night beauteous, and her old face new. So her could be black night.
It's the night. Yeah.
That's what I mean.
We've got it.
We got it. It may take us longer than some, but we get there.
Analytical power, we have it.
It's actually just, reading the sonnet and paying attention. Because when I read these at the beginning, so much of my mind is going, don't mess it up, don't mess it up, don't mess it up, that I don't really know what I'm reading. I don't know if that's the same for you at the end.
But you don't read it and trying to understand the meaning. You just read it and try to not mess up all the stupid words that he's being put in there.
So what? Because do you have like a special view on this? Being someone who finds it hard to sleep.
Well, I've surely never wrote a sonnet this eloquent when I wasn't able to sleep.
Well, maybe you should try.
I don't think I could. I wouldn't have the when I'm actually trying to sleep. I don't think my brain would be even capable of let find the rhymes, let alone stay within the structure of a sonnet, or use words that are more than tired and. I mean, for then my thoughts from far wherever I intend a zealous pilgrimage to thee and keep my drooping eyelids open. It's a beautiful description.
It is.
But I don't think anyone apart from Shakespeare could think of that while lying awake. Well, he might not have written it lying awake. He might have written it whenever, just thinking about insomnia. But
yeah, it's a very nice poem. I like at the beginning. Weary with toil, I haste me to my bed. Then dear repose for limbs with travel tired. But then begins a journey in my head to work my mind when body's work's expired. It's just such a nice 4 lines. And it does describe things quite well. I mean, I don't suffer from insomnia, thankfully, but I mean, it takes me a while to get to sleep, and it does feel like you get to bed and your limbs are going, finally, but your brain goes, now it's my turn. And
it just starts racing with thoughts, and you just, and everything that you try not to worry about during the day, your brain just goes, here's all your problems, just take them, think about them, and you just lying there going, oh, my body hurts, I just want to sleep. No,
you must think about how you have no friends and you have no social life. No. That's a link back to the previous podcast for those who are skipping them. If you've tuned in, if Sonnet 27 happens to be your favourite podcast, go listen to Sonnet 26 and just listen to my rant, and then you'll know what that little bit is. It'd be worth it.
We've started referencing other episodes of the podcast. This is
it's very limited. It's only ever within the 4 that we record in a batch,
because that's the bit that we can remember.
Oh, this is good. We're professionals. Yes. Again, are we still in that? I remember, not in this 4, but in the previous 4, you mentioned something like the sea of boringness or something. The tranquil sea, it was called, or something like that. That there was a group of poems.
I can't. I mean, this definitely reads like it would still be in that sort of
very
contemplating, and yeah,
they're not bad poems, but not necessarily deep. This is very much, as the internet puts it, Ron Seal. What you get is what's on the tin.
I mean, it's got some lovely images. My soul's imaginary sight presents thy shadow to my sightless view. So it just, even if you're lying there in darkness, just all the images your brain chucks at you. I mean, in this particular case, it seems to be another person, but it could be anything, really. And it's quite a lovely image. Sorry.
I was just going to say, and again, this would have been proper darkness as well. Not like if you live in a city or even a village. It's not the darkness you experience at night unless you have proper blackout curtains. This is like
this
dark,
would be
dark.
pitch black, yeah.
And I suppose it does show again why the mysticism at the time really worked, because you wouldn't go out at night because you couldn't see. It was pitch black unless there happened to be a full moon or many stars. that you could see, it would be very, very dark. And that's why people were very scared of being out at night. And if you were out at night, you were a bit of a weirdo.
Or a ripper.
You should be in bed. Or a ripper. It's because you should be in bed and having trouble sleeping because there's a jewel hung in front of your face. That's what it should be.
That didn't really help in the weirdness of that line.
No, it didn't.
There is a jewel hanging in front of your face. But it's not my job.
Oh no, teabagged and not good. Bad. Dad, that's where my brain goes. I'm sorry.
It is Shakespeare. We've had quite a bit of masturbation and sex, so who knows? I was
where we end up at the end.
Oh God.
Sorry, you were going to say you were.
I completely lost thought.
It's completely. You've been struck dumb by the wonder of Sonnet 27, which is interesting because it talks about blindness, not dumbness. Dumbness in the early sense of dumbness, not you're just a bit dumb. Dumb as in can't speak dumb, which I'm pretty sure is not the correct term anymore, but it would have been in Shakespeare's time.
Yeah, words change.
Yeah, and probably for good reason as well. It's like the National Spastic Society changed its name in the UK because kids in playgrounds were calling all their friends spastics, so they changed their name to Scope, which the charity's now.
Was that actually called the Spastic? Wow.
Society? Yeah. National Spastic Society or something like that. They were called. I remember the big. In this country at least, because you didn't grow up in this country, but they were in supermarkets. You could put coins in the big charity bins, and they had this big dome on it and like a funnel system, and you put the coin in, and it would go around and around on one edge and run around the funnel, and it would get sort of the diameter would reduce, and it'd get faster and faster and faster, and then drop into the. It was great fun. Drop into the collection.
I think they might still be doing that.
They might do. There might be a few around. I haven't seen one in a while. But they used to be called the National Spastic Society. Kids would then use spastic as a bad word to oh, you're spastic. So
as kids do.
Yeah, and they changed their name to Scope, and all that happened is now kids call each other Scopies. It's the same argument with kids nowadays using gay as an insult. They don't necessarily mean it in the context which adults view it. They're not, when they call their friends gay, they're not calling their friends a homosexual. They're calling their friends a bad term, and there are issues with that because it permanently in their minds links gay with bad. But that's not the same as calling their friends gay as because being gay is bad, and or at least in my mind that's what they're doing. But that's very interesting. Anyway, sorry, that was another sidebar again. Because of the word dumb and blind. But blind's still fine, I'm sure.
Well, dumb is still a bit weird, because if dumb meant not saying anything, dumb people tend to be the ones who shout the loudest.
Originally, I'm sure dumb, the original meaning of it was can't speak, because there was the phrase has been struck deaf and dumb.
Yeah.
Mean, I'm now doing a Google search for dumb. Let's have a look. Just what dictionary.com. That I'm sure. No, even better, the freedictionary.com. This is good. Dumb, lacking the power of speech. It's still listed as its first.
Well, we still have words like dumbfounded. That basically means being speechless and.
Oh, so maybe it hasn't been replaced by something. If it has, let us know, because I'd be interested to know what the correct term. I'm not going to say politically correct because I think that, but unfortunately, the term politically correct, which essentially just means being nice to people, has been hijacked to mean something negative, which is the ultimate.
It's political correctness gone mad.
Irony. The fact that the phrase political correctness, which was brought around to just mean being nice to people, has now been usurped to become a bad thing, is I think very ironic, very funny, and quite sad at the same time.
Well, people don't like it if you try to regulate their speech, and that's basically what political correctness has become. people go, oh, you can't say that. It's not PC to call someone gay. And then people go, well, then PC is something bad because PC tells me what I can and cannot say.
Yeah, but when you're telling someone what they can and cannot say because it's a nice thing, as in don't call someone gay as a negative, is, I think, a good thing.
I mean, yeah, common sense, but
Yeah.
I can see how people would still go, you're telling me I'm not allowed to use the words that I like to use.
Yeah, and that's it's what they're used to. People don't like giving up what they're used to. So I don't like the fact that I've always called the corner shop the I don't even want to say that word on air. No, that's not, I'm going to find another example. We'll stick with the gay example because I'm more comfortable with that. But yeah, the fact that...
Are you a homophobe, Mark?
No, as anyone I'm sure who follows me online will know. The fact that people are now in their 20s and have always called people gay as a negative, and then you come along and say, actually, it means this very specific thing, and they don't like you using it in that context. You're not only telling someone they can't do what they're used to, you're telling them what they've been doing for the past 8, 9, 10, 15 years
has been wrong,
and it has a negative connotation. They've been hurting people, and I think people don't like that view, so their brain automatically goes into, well, I've always done it, therefore it must be okay. Because as creatures, we're very much, if something happens a lot, it must be okay.
Yeah, we're creatures of habit. Yeah,
and yeah, that's my fears anyway. We're not talking about the sonnet anymore, are we? I'm sorry, listeners.
It's not as bad as talking about Tom Cruise.
No, in Minority Report, that was a fun show. But yes, no. Wait, let's look at this. Blah, blah, blah. It's very one track again. I know I'm saying that.
Again, we're probably missing several levels of depth here, but you're not listening to this for an academic analysis, so it's your fault if you want one.
Yes, and we can do the thing that Wikipedia told us, which is it's a pangrammic sonnet, which we did look up, which means it uses every letter of the alphabet. So the Z is in zealous, the W is in weary, the X is somewhere there.
Did we have an
expired?
Oh yeah, that's true.
So all of the really awkward ones. Q, where's Q? Q's an awkward one to get in.
Where do we have the Q?
There must be a Q.
Ooh.
There has to be a Q.
What am I telling?
Someone you can just hear people listen to us screaming. It's there, of course.
How
it's
can
there.
you not? Oh! Quiet. Final line.
Final line. So all the letters are there. We're not going to go through the alphabet and look for everyone, but that Wikipedia says it's so. Therefore, it must be so. Which is nice, and it's not something. I don't know. I guess in a sonnet it could happen by accident because you're not constricted to only using each letter once. But
getting all the awkwards in like Q and Z and X, it may be too much of a coincidence to. And if there is actually something like a pangrammic sonnet, then it's probably not by coincidence that this one has it.
I think that's what I would argue. I don't know what it brings to the poem or to the sonnet. I don't know what it means by the fact it's there. But it's there.
It might just be a, look at me, I can write after all. Screw you, people who read 25 and 26.
who believed me when I said I couldn't write. Actually,
and then he's turning into arrogant Shakespeare from Doctor Who.
Excellent. I'm going to let you read this one. It's quite a nice one to read. I think so, anyway.
You say that. I've messed up the last two.
So have I on the intros, so it's only fair.
Yeah. Sonnet 27. Weary with toil, I haste me to my bed, the dear repose for limbs with travel tired. But then begins a journey in my head to work my mind when body's work expired. For then my thoughts, from far where I abide, intend a zealous pilgrimage to thee, and keep my drooping eyelids open wide, looking on darkness. How do I mess up darkness?
You could have just kept going. No.
Yeah, but then I stumbled on. I was gonna say 2, and there was a witch.
Yeah, Darkness 2 Witch would be, I guess, would be more
It's just
modern.
Shakespeare's fault for writing wrong.
Yes, I agree.
Looking on darkness, which the blind do see, save that my soul's imaginary sight presents thy shadow to my sightless view, which, like a jewel hung in ghastly night, makes black night beauteous and her old face new. Lo, thus my day...
It's becoming a tradition now, you stumbling on every sonnet.
It's just... yeah. Lo, thus by day my limbs, by night my mind, for thee and for myself no quiet find.
That's good.
Actually, that's a beautiful couplet at the end there.
It is. It's, yeah, very, very nice. And it actually very much sums up the whole
sonnet, yeah.
And you must have written them and gone, oh, why the hell did I write the other 12 lines? Anyway, that was Sonnet 27 from Shakespeare's Sonnets. I've been Mark Chatterley.
I have been Thierry Heles. And we will see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
You've been listening to Shakespeare's Sonnets with Mark Chatterley and Thierry Heles. This has been an In-Ear Entertainment podcast. To listen to other podcasts or find out more about In-Ear Entertainment, go to www.inearentertainment.com.